Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs Podcast, presented by Toyota, it's Tuesdays with Roman. Justin Roman is in the building. We're going to talk about that absolutely incredible World Series game this morning, last night, however you want to look at it, plus the most likely and least likely free agents to sign with the Cubs. We're going to rank them all coming up today. Just go ahead and walk us. We're more dangerous than Ohtani. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast, driven by our friends at Toyota. It is a nice, sunny Tuesday morning in Chicago. It is a Tuesday with Roman. Justin Roman is here, along with Joey Christopolous and Luke Stuckmeyer. Sean Anderson running the ones and twos for us. Some of us stayed up for the entire game last night. I'll be the first to admit I did not.
I got to apologize that I know it's our big Tuesday with Roman, but I was up super late, watched every single pitch, every single inning, and then my alarm went off at 6 a.m. to get my kids ready for school. Yeah. So I might be a little tired today.
That's why I did not.
Take a nap during the ad breaks if you take a quick little power nap.
I saw that second intentional walk to Ohtani, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Whoever wins, wins. Let me know.
But you agreed off camera, if the Cubs were facing Ohtani in that situation, you walk the guy, right?
Yes, I walk the guy. But, like, the Blue Jays are cowards. Let's just say it. They're cowards. Would I have done the same thing? Yes. And you could have called me a coward because it's a cowardly act.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, extra innings, every time he's up, there's a chance for him to win the game. So I get it. You put him on first base because he can't win the game at first base without multiple hits, right? So I get it. But I mean, you want to see your best player or the best player in the game hit every single time. But I don't fault the Blue Jays at all for doing that.
I'm still wrapping my head around Trevor McGill pitching to Ohtani for that third home run about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, Luke, I'm on the opposite side of you. I think Dave Roberts is fairly stupid for pitching to Vladimir Guerrero as much as he did, because that's the only hitter, I mean, outside of Kirk, that could do any damage once they took out Barger and Springer.
I was going to say, too, like I was texting my friends last night watching, and the Blue Jays lineup, once they got rid of Kirk and then Bichette was pulled out, and obviously Springer, it was very like underwhelming except for Guerrero. Like I kept watching. I'm like, who's gonna win this game for the Blue Jays besides Vladdy? Because like again, without those three guys, their offense took a huge hit last night.
We're gonna talk about more on this, obviously. Plus the most likely, least likely Cubs. That's all coming up in the show. So if you want strictly Cubs stuff, it's still coming. But this was an incredible World Series game, even for those of us that gave up on it at about, I don't know, the 12th inning or so. But every time I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I did check my phone to see what the score was.
Every time? How many times does that happen?
Oh, it happens all night long. You just wait. When you hit 50, half of your night is spent just getting up, going to the bathroom, getting up, going to the bathroom.
Get your steps in.
Baby cries, another kid cries. Bathroom, go to the bathroom. It's a nonstop thing. Listen, Mike Ditka once said, living in the past is for cowards and losers. And because Joey's wearing the Bears jacket today, the Blue Jays are cowards and losers. They're living in the past. They're worried about the home runs and the doubles and all that. All I know is the guy was on base 9 times. So I understand it. But that game, to be on 9... So since we're doing the old most likely, least likely, why don't we do it for this? What's the most likely and least likely thing to happen when you're talking about crazy things that have happened in baseball, right? We've had, will we get another guy getting on 9 times in a postseason game?
Or any game.
It's a postseason record, and it tied a regular season game record.
Right, but this was in the World Series.
What I'm saying,
like 9 times.
Yeah.
Is that the most likely? Is it DiMaggio's hit streak? Is it Cal Ripken's Iron Man streak? Somebody gets it. Is it somebody to finally hit 400? Or is it the rare of the rare, or actually never happened, obviously, The Brewers win a World Series. Is that the most likely one to happen out of that group? That's the least. So we can all agree. Brewers winning the World Series, least likely.
All hands in the middle.
The curse of the L
making
flag.
sure. Yes.
So now that's never happening.
They may never win another game.
I agree. They haven't yet.
Right.
I'll go first. I think that the most likely record of all the things you mentioned to be broken, man, I actually think it would be the on-base record that Ohtani got last night, because I don't think that the Cal Ripken thing, these players are built differently.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
No.
The 400, I think, I just think that's impossible. And yeah, I think the on-base record for me is the most likely, even though I don't think it's likely. I just think it's most likely to happen on that list.
56-game hit streak. There's a lot of swing and miss in the game today.
It's crazy.
So you're talking about a handful of players that are in on that or 400. What do you think, Joey?
Most likely?
Yeah, most likely.
All of these are, to be very fair, impossible. So this is why it's the fun bar conversation.
Yes.
I do think the most likely is probably someone figuring out a way to hit 400 again.
Really?
Because two reasons why. One would be they'd have a great eye at the plate, so it'd have to be a lot of walks, right? It also would have to be, I bet you would be like the minimum at bats that you could possibly qualify for.
Yeah.
I could see someone sneaking in somehow and getting that. And I get it, bat to ball's definitely changed in this game. But of all of them, these are all impossible. I think that one
will happen again.
I think that one's the most likely. And I brought this up to where I think a guy getting on base 9 times in a game is one of the more least likely ones that you're ever going to see, because all these different things have to happen, right? One, either the team needs to score, 30 plus runs in a game, or you have to have these confluence of events to have 18 innings to even get the opportunity to have 9 plate appearances, right? So the other two, the 56-game hitting streak, you're kind of in control of that. Cal Ripken, you're kind of in control of that. But reaching base 9 times in a game, I think that might be least likely.
I mean, yeah, Joey, it's not like there's been 2 18-inning games in the past 7 years of World Series baseball.
But there has been.
That was the joke.
Which on that joke,
Dodgers,
after our little segment here, I have the most rare stat about that blew my mind.
It's more rare than Ohtani?
Can I read it right now?
Yeah, do it.
So, because honestly, listen, I'm a country music fan, as you guys probably know, or maybe you don't know, but Brad Paisley is one of the biggest country artists, right? Mm-hmm. He sang the anthem last night for Game 3 of the World Series. It went 18 innings. Did you know that back in 2018, Game 3 of the World Series, he also sang the national anthem, and that game went 18 innings. He sang 2 more times. Game 2 of 2017, that game went 11 innings. He sang Game 1 of 2024. That game went 10 innings. How crazy is that?
Pack a dinner and a second dinner, because Brad Paisley's singing tonight.
Did they sing 7th inning stretch twice?
They did.
They did
in the 14th.
Yeah.
In the 14th inning.
Cool. He should have done the anthem twice.
I mean, just talk about the most rare coincidence of all. I mean, that's an insane stat if you think about it.
I mean, as a fan, you're definitely sitting there and you're mentally battling. This is history. This is my team. I can't leave. Well, also with Luke, let's be honest. There's got to be a small part of you that's like, this has got to end one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there. So I was in the same boat as you, right? Like I got home. I produced a Bulls show on CHGO Bulls. They had a great time. Bulls were 3-0, by the way.
Crazy.
I got home at like 12:15 last night. It was the 13th inning. I still watched over 5 innings
that's ridiculous.
of this game last night. And I suck around, because the drama, the theater, not a ton, like a couple hard hit balls, right? But the Dodgers took 2 to the track with Teoscar and Will Smith. I think he 2 balls to the track. And then I was honestly just sitting there for the history. Yeah. Because now you're like, how far is this going to go?
Now we can always tell people that we watched every single inning. We were
sure. So can I. I'd just be lying.
Yes, true. But also, like you're talking about the Dodgers, but I mean, Toronto had the bases loaded. I mean, they both teams had chances, and just couldn't get that big. And Freddie Freeman, I know he's the hero, but like he had a couple chances earlier on that would have won the game that he couldn't come through in.
Yeah.
And
7 left on base before that.
It's crazy. I mean, it was actually a really, really good game. I'm super biased. I'm a super big homer. I don't think it was as good as Game 7 of 2016 World Series, which is why I'm wearing this hoodie right now. But besides that game, I think last night was my best game I ever watched.
You know, some say Freddie Freeman, the Meryl Streep of the Dodgers, and also of baseball too, Luke. So came through in the clutch as usual.
I just know the Ohtani thing. First of all, if the Blue Jays just walk him the rest of the series, I'll be super mad.
Yeah.
Like
as will baseball.
Every at bat, because this is the guy now worldwide promoting your sport. And I know intentional walks are part of it. And I know it's the right thing to do probably for a lot of times for for the Blue Jays. But man, for the good of the game, you want to see him play. He's the reason I was watching.
Did you feel that way about like Barry Bonds back in the day when they walked him so much?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it was right to keep walking him in. And this is a guy, he's so unbelievable. He's going to pitch tonight.
That's crazy.
And I'm not, I heard somebody today saying like, oh, he's going to be exhausted. From what?
Right.
What's he exhausted from?
Right.
He hit 2 home runs where he jogged around the bases. Okay. Then he was walked 5 times, which he just literally walked down to first base.
Right.
He had 2 doubles, one of which was over the wall in a ground rule double.
So he jogged a second.
You have admitted you didn't watch. There was an
watch
opportunity in the fourth. Well, you weren't watching the 14th inning, or what was it? The 12th inning. He tried to steal a base.
I saw the stolen base. I saw the stolen base where he got thrown out.
He ended up getting like injured from that because then there was another injury, I think, or there was a single to left field from somebody. I believe it was Mookie, and they had to come out and visit him with Robertson, the trainer.
And he kind of jogged to second base. I'm still watching at that point, which is impressive with 2 under 5.
So you were up at like 1 a.m.? I do not follow your story. I feel like you're lying somewhere.
No. The last thing I believe I saw was the second intentional walk. That's why he was on first, and then he tried to go to second, and he kind of jogged on a Betts base hit, right?
Yeah, well, the first intentional walk, I believe he got caught stealing second.
Correct. Saw that.
The second intentional walk, I think, is what we're talking about, where the base
and
hit.
That's the last thing I saw. That's the last thing I saw was that attempt. I'm like, well, they're going to do it every time, and I don't care who wins the game.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys tell me what happened tomorrow morning.
If Toronto won last night, they would be in a really interesting position because you do have Ohtani possibly dealing with a groin injury, and even though it's 18 innings where he might not have done much, it's still impossible to think that he's played over 150 plus baseball games doing hitting and pitching. Like, there has to be at some point a fatigue issue with him, and this could be the perfect moment where Toronto could have taken a 3-1 lead.
But is he going to be any more fatigued than all the other players from last night? Like, to me, baseball is stress fatigue, a lot of it. Not that it's not physical fatigue, but it's not a 4th overtime in hockey. It's not a 3rd overtime in the NBA. It's not the NFL.
It's a marathon.
It's more that they're just on their feet and everything is magnified, so the stress level is. It's like getting done with a big test for something, and you're like, oh, I'm exhausted, but we're just sitting in a chair.
Right.
No, it's a little bit. The sport's a little bit different, right? Like he's great, not necessarily because he's just a great athlete. It's the mechanics. It's like golf in that this tiny little difference can make somebody who's short, tall, skinny, fat, doesn't matter. They can be great at doing that. That's what's so crazy about those two sports, right?
Yeah. Well, look at Alejandro Kirk. I mean, his body is not you think a typical athlete looks like, but he hit a 3-run bomb, and you thought Toronto's going to win this game. Let's start a little pudgy guy, but baseball's like John Crook was like that back in the day, right? Didn't have an ideal body, but
Prince
the guy
Fielder.
could mash,
Pete Incaviglia.
Yeah, there you go. We can go.
I've seen Greg Maddux without a shirt
Matt
on.
Stairs.
Frankly, I got better pecs and abs than Greg Maddux.
Prove it.
No, that's for Ben Johnson. If the Bears go on a 5-game winning streak.
And what's so interesting when you're talking about like what's in store for us tonight in terms of this World Series, right? Is that like, how can you not as a human being have a little bit, I don't want to say emotional letdown, but how did they not wake up this morning still feeling and thinking about that game last night, and they need to turn the page. Yes. And Cubs fans, we all know what it's like when Matthew Boyd can't get out of the first inning with 2 outs. Imagine what that pitching staff has to go through tonight. And I think that first turn of the lineup with Ohtani versus the Blue Jays is actually strangely really critical for how they're going to play out the bullpen. Ohtani can't throw 120 pitches, and if he's, who knows where he's at fatigue-wise or where he's at physically. It's just going to be really fascinating to see how they roll out the bullpen these next couple of days. Maybe they got to push some of these guys up now. Like, do you see Blake Snell a little bit earlier than maybe you wanted to because just some of these dudes had to do it? But shout out to Will Klein, obviously former Cubs prospect.
Eastern Illinois.
Grew up a huge Cubs fan. 70-plus pitches last night. Doubled his pitch count ever in a major league game.
Insane.
Congratulated by Sandy Koufax.
Unbelievable.
So cool.
And dude just still and going out there and just throwing four seam, right?
Was like
for the most part.
He was smiling, he was like for such a crazy pressure situation, he was having a good time doing it. You know, I don't know if you guys saw him. I know you didn't, but like he's smiling.
Way to rub it in. Way to rub it in, Roman.
he was having a good time. You didn't see the pressure on his face. I felt more enjoyment for him than anything. And I mean, man, he was fired up.
And the Varsho at bat when he finally got him too, as well, as like a 10 or 11 pitch at bat.
Yes.
And it's just really special and cool for him, for a young kid like that, to have that moment. And he'll be known in Dodgers history forever.
Forever.
Just a couple more thoughts on the World Series coming up in just a bit. What did you think of last night's game? What was the highlight of it for you? But first, a word from our CHGO sponsors. Hey, Cubs fans, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real, and the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota ready to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com or visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Speaking of going places, you want to be a CHGO diehard. And if you're not going anywhere. That is the thing to do right now. Get access to our exclusive written content, a free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on merch and events, plus access to our CHGO Discord lounge where we all hang out. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join the thousands of CHGO diehards and sickos in our community. We can't wait to connect with you on an even greater level.
And hey, Chicago sports fans, are you ready to level up your collection of trading cards or get back into the game or get started for the first time? Well, Arena Club's original slab pack brings the thrill of ripping packs combined with the power to buy, sell, and trade in all one place. Get authentic, graded cards instantly on Arena Club. You decide. You can hold, sell, or have it stripped or shipped to you directly. You can also decide to take an instant cash offer based on market value. One click, cash in, no guesswork. With the slab packs, you can rip a wide range of packs starting at $25 and up. Every pack has grails that are at least 20 times the price of the pack. Arena Club is the most trusted name in the game. They offer full transparency, showing every card in the pack with the likelihood of pulling each one, as you know exactly what's available before you buy, like a Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh, I got one.
Early on this year. Yes, the packs are digital, but the cards are real. So whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, or ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted in the game. So here's what you got to do right now. 20% off your first slab pack when you use code CHGO. Remember, CHGO, $20 off.
Shout out to our guy, Ben, I believe, who's out in Hawaii. He says, hey,
Ben
James, who was talking with us on Twitter today, says, tuning in while drinking coffee and eating breakfast in Hawaii.
I love Hawaii. Is my favorite place in the world. Maui is.
I would agree. I would agree with that. You know what, Ben? If you haven't tried it yet, go with the waffles topped with pineapple and then coconut syrup. Will blow
crazy.
your mind.
And he was wearing CHGO gear right on the plane, too.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that on Twitter today.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? All right, it is time for our Taking the Temp segment. Your trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all your special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. So we did, you weren't here for this, Just, but we did our Major League Baseball World Series draft. We have to pick players from the two World Series teams. You have to have one pitcher on your roster of 5, and you can do whatever you want other than that, okay? So I had the first pick, so I was forced. They forced my hand and said, you have to take Ohtani. So I took Ohtani, filling both my pitcher and my best hitter.
Okay.
I would say that any name after that makes this list irrelevant.
You're totally right.
Well, yeah.
It's over.
It's over. And when he throws like 8 shutout tonight and gets walked 5 more times, again, over. So those are still good teams.
You were able to pick Ohtani. Now you get points for him being a pitcher as well, or because
right.
Wow, then you win the whole.
He's my pitcher, but now Freeman, as you mentioned, Freeman hits the home run. That's not nothing. That's something. It's just that he left a lot of guys on base before that.
Sean's got 2 huge moments in this series right now.
He does. Barger's a good big one.
But also Freddie and Mookie, like they had 7 chances before they hit that final one. I mean, their averages aren't helped by that long game.
That's right.
Mookie's had a horrible World Series.
And Muncy's done some things too. Now the guys in the middle for me aren't great, but Ohtani is just haven't we just been robbed? The one thing I thought about before I went to bed early after the second intentional walk was, weren't we just robbed by the fact that he started in Japan and wasn't in Major League Baseball. And then when he got here, we wasted all that time with the Angels.
Yeah.
Like, what a bummer
Yeah.
that he was like, in that way, I'm okay that he's on the Dodgers. Like, at least we're going to see him in the postseason.
Yeah.
What a waste that we never really got to see Mike Trout on a showcase level like that. And now at least we're getting that with Ohtani.
I mean, the Angels front office should be fired into the sun because they had Ohtani and Trout for all those years, and they couldn't. I mean, they couldn't do anything.
Couldn't get to the playoffs.
I was taking it a step further, Luke. You know, with the Ohtani going to the Angels. Don't forget, like, wasn't it his second choice, or we were runners up? The Cubs were like the
Very
initial
close.
posting. We were apparently runners up for Ohtani. Like, think about what could have been having that guy here. Like, oh my gosh, he's unreal. I mean, and I think if you can't say it now because I think the body of work isn't full yet, I think he will go down as the greatest player in the history of baseball.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, and you look at so Becky here in the chat with some great comments today. Hi, Becky. Hello.
Bex?
She says, I think the Dodgers will win it again. Take notes, Hoyer. It's an interesting comment. I think maybe with my crystal ball later, I will respond to something like that. But what you guys are talking about right now is after everything that's happened with the Angels and what's happening now with the Dodgers, and I know that there's labor strife coming in the next year or two, just think about the great athletes that we've seen in our lifetime, and you've name-checked some of them when we talk about Tiger, we talk about Serena, we talk about MJ, we talk about Tom Brady. Whether other baseball teams like it or not, and I will relate this back to the Cubs later in a positive way, I promise you, but Ohtani right now on the Dodgers, baseball is possibly entering into a 3 to 4, 5-year window of really like a revitalization. I'm not going to say golden age because this has been America's game for a long time, but there is major, huge opportunity for MLB to get back into the mix a little bit. Yeah. And I don't know if they'll ever compete with the NFL, but talk about eyeballs and talk about people coming to the gate simply wanting to see Ohtani or see their team face Ohtani or see a team beat Ohtani and the Dodgers. We are entering into an area where there is real opportunity for Major League Baseball right now and other teams too as well, where baseball might be back simply because of how great this player is.
That's why they can't afford this work stoppage thing that's on the horizon to actually last very long. Like that's got to be quick or not at all.
Yeah, I mean, but baseball. I mean, I've seen a million stats. Like baseball is actually up. I mean, year over year in every facet you could think of, whether it's attendance, whether it's a viewership. I mean, baseball is definitely up. And you're right. You know, with Ohtani leading the charge here. And you know what's so cool about him too is that, like, listen, just to compare it to basketball, obviously I'm a Jordan guy. I'm sure you guys are as well. Greatest of all time.
Just a little bit.
Like this new generation, they love LeBron. I don't like LeBron. And there's just something about him and the decision or whatever. I don't like LeBron. But Ohtani is so likable. He's not like a villain, right? Like Ohtani is one of these guys that's like, he's classy, he's phenomenal, he's everything you want in a superstar. And it's like, fine, the big bad Dodgers, but like I can't hate on Ohtani. Ohtani's a phenomenal player and I want to watch him. Yeah,
the only hesitation anybody's ever had about that was the translator.
Yes. The gambling thing.
And the gambling, like where did that happen? Was he betting on games? Was he actually getting robbed by a guy he should have realized was robbed? I don't know. Whatever.
I'm with you.
As far as a baseball player, he's unbelievable. Yes. And as far as taking advantage of him in the spotlight in LA, think about the NBA. Not forget the gambling stuff that they've had some issues with, obviously, in the last couple of days. They have a problem with guys not wanting to play in games.
Yes.
They play 82 games and guys don't want to play. They want to play 20 minutes. They want to rest up, wait for the postseason. They don't want to play back-to-backs.
Yep.
Ohtani's playing.
Every game.
The guy was hitting 50-plus home runs because he couldn't pitch because he had Tommy John.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beauty of baseball that I've always loved, right? Same. The NHL, a lot of it can be, obviously the diehards are going to come in for every single game, but I think the casuals come in for the playoffs because the playoffs are amazing.
Yes.
The NFL is dominant. The NBA, I'm with you. I think Steph Curry versus LeBron was kind of maybe the last generation of this, and we'll see what the next one is. And Jokic is a great player too as well, and a great guy you want to watch. But Major League Baseball has that P.T. Barnum, the circus comes to town. Ohtani's coming to town this weekend. Should we all get tickets? And it doesn't matter if you're a Padres fan or a Rays fan or a Marlins fan or whatever. I'm not going to name every single Major League team, but now this is an attraction that Major League Baseball can sell. and just a quick little teaser of what I want to hit a little bit later on, there are other teams out there now that have the opportunity to become the rival of the shiniest, brightest star and toy that exists in Major League Baseball. And there is currency and there is value in that if a team is willing to step up and try and be that person.
But it's going to cost a little money. Like what?
Oh, interesting.
Which Cubs player would you say, or can you think of, whether it's like, I was trying to even get close to Ohtani, and I was like, let's say the Cubs were in the NLCS against the Dodgers. Even though they have some great players that had great seasons, like even if PCA continued first half to second half, even if Tucker continued first half to second half, or say it did first half to second half, there's still nobody even close to being walked 5 times in a row.
No. We're letting Pomeranz pitch to Ohtani, right?
You know what I mean? Like, 100%. I would want the Cubs to walk him every single time. Right. I would walk him every single time. Yeah. It's bad for the game, but that's what I would do if I was the coach. I don't expect a Cubs player to be walked 5 times in a row. It might be 10 by the end of tonight.
Right.
But who's the most likely out of what you know of the Cubs for someone where you'd say, man, the other team will be terrified of this guy going into a series, and they will think about him in their sleep, and they will think about him before he's up?
I don't think we have that guy. I mean, I'm a homer, and I love my team, but I don't think we have that guy that strikes fear into opposing pitchers. We have a very good and deep lineup. That's what we do have, right? So it's like, but I don't think you're like, Michael Busch is great. You're not scared of him. PCA, you could probably, he could do phenomenal things. He can also strike out at a ball that's a grounder at his foot, you know? So I don't know if we have that guy that strikes fear, but we have a lot of depth up and down the lineup.
In a tight game, I would say that guy could be PCA because of the speed to get on base. Like, that's the difference. They would never put PCA on because even though Ohtani got thrown out, like, you would never want to put him, no matter how much he was hitting, you would never say, let's just give him first base.
Right.
The most likely guy would be if you signed Schwarber.
Yeah.
Schwarbs would be the one guy where they'd be like,
we don't want a piece of this.
Just walk him out there.
I'd say also a healthy Tucker, because we saw
possibly
kind of a bad version of Tucker. I think a healthy Kyle Tucker is also kind of that Schwarber guy. But besides that, I mean, I think you can take your chances with our entire lineup.
Yeah, I'm in agreement when we talk about scare levels and it's Halloween season. I'm with you guys. There isn't anyone in the lineup, but there was factually one player that I think got into the Brewers' heads. Now, granted, the Brewers are never going to win a World Series. Am I right, gentlemen?
Ever.
But Michael Busch, they thought once or twice they knew that he was the most dangerous guy in their lineup. Yeah. And I will contend for a very long time that they started Aaron Ashby, what was that, in Game 2, simply to try and get, to get Counsell to make a decision to take Busch out of the lineup because they didn't want to face Busch. It's not on the level of Ohtani. On the level of scares, it's a 0.3 on a scale of 10, but that maybe is the only one that could qualify, even close.
If I could just jump, where I thought you were going with this was, do we even have a player that is somewhat even close to the excitement that Ohtani brings? Oh. And that for me, again, nowhere near the caliber of player, but somebody who could create that kind of excitement is PCA. I think PCA, a couple more years under his belt, maybe next year for all we know, because first half PCA was must-see TV at the plate, in the field, and on the bases. So, like, that level of excitement, we do have that player, but again, nowhere near the level of Ohtani yet.
Yeah, it's like saying, okay, in the NFL you have Tom Brady. Let's just talk about the next tier of quarterbacks, right? Like that's kind of it right now at the moment. Yeah. Our guy Ron is in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger. And Ron says, hey, Madden walked Bryce over and over back in the postseason. You know what, Ron? We talked about that. You know what the Cubs were? They were smart cowards in that situation. Right. Just as I think the Blue Jays are. But
did in the regular season
doesn't mean it wasn't a cowardly act.
But it worked. It worked for us.
Yes. Well, it may work for the Blue Jays. I just don't know. If Betts and Freeman do what they're supposed to do, because they might be higher than anybody on the Cubs roster that we're talking about, like more likely to get walked or something like Freeman in the postseason. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, then the Blue Jays would have to rethink what they do with Ohtani. I'm curious whether or not they will walk him in the first inning tonight.
And if they say to themselves, like, what's the I know we're doing a lot of sports crossing here, but like, don't let that guy beat you, right? It's an NBA thing, right?
Sure.
So like, obviously Teoscar Hernandez last night had a huge night, 4 hits, almost hit another home run.
Yeah.
What was that? The 16th inning, somewhere along those lines. So if they say to themselves, well, if we look back on this and say Teoscar Hernandez beat us, we can live with that. We can't live with Shohei Ohtani beating us.
Stack the box in football. Don't let Barkley run for 200 yards.
100%.
I don't think you're going to see intentional walks throughout the innings 1 through 5 or 6. I think the reason you saw again was because they were the home team and one swing of the bat wins the game. That's why Ohtani got walked 4 consecutive times. First inning, I don't think he's going to get walked. I think you take your chances.
I sure hope not. All right, we're going to get to right now, most likely, least likely. It's coming up after a break. Who's the most likely free agent to sign with the Cubs? Let us know in the chat. First, a word from our CHGO sponsors.
Hey, Cubs fans, whatever the sport, remember, the app to bet is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams, Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, even those Chicago Fire right now. In every game this season, they have spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circus Sports, they've got it all. So remember, fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Me personally, I can't get enough of this World Series right now, Luke. So what better way? If you want to bet on another 18-inning game or not, maybe Circus Sports has it for you. So remember, download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Remember, you must be 21 plus or older, and if you have a gambling problem, crisis and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Circusports.com. Check it out today.
Ohtani probably hit 6 home runs tonight. Fall is
Bank
here.
on it.
Crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire too, but if you're like most guys, you're still putting in the hard work, and that means sweat. Don't let your body odor sideline you. You know
you
the
talking
feeling.
about me?
Maybe. It's game day, and you've been working hard all week. Is your lucky jersey or jacket maybe smelling a little too lucky at this point, Joey? Well, let's be honest. Regular deodorant doesn't cut it after a long day. But here's the game changer in the market. Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control. Not just another cover-up. Mando is one stick, 2 jobs, powerful odor and sweat control. You can stop that odor before it even starts. That's right. It's been re-engineered to stop odor before it starts. It doesn't just mask the odor, it prevents it. 100% of the study participants experience all-day odor protection. Here's the special offer for listeners. New customers, 20% off site-wide, including using the code CHGO at shopmando.com. 20% off site-wide and free shipping. That's shopmando.com, and tell them Stucky sent you. More importantly, Joey definitely sent you. Stinky Joey back on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Sorry, I was just joking.
And you put me next to him. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I should have put him all the way to the other end.
Right.
By the way, wearing a Superfans jacket today.
That's right.
Wow.
Terry Buzzard. I got my Terry Buzzard jacket on. I've turned the page on the Chicago Bears to next week. Everyone had it written down that they were going to lose. I had them losing both to the Ravens and the Bengals. You lose to the Ravens. Now you got to beat the Bengals. You got to turn the page. Great little CHGO merch today. Feeling good.
Nice.
Did you see the Hogan Johns merch is out?
New
merch. Hogan Johns merch alert today.
Show on the Riverwalk tonight too as well if you're in the area.
Yeah, you can go check it out. Yeah, there's some new shirts. They got a new branded Bills hat. They got all kinds of. So far, the Stucky Christopolous Roman hat is not out.
Working on it.
The Three Stooges. We're gonna.
Look at the Pep Boys. We should do it like a Pep Boys hat.
Pep Boys.
That actually
like
really
that.
rad.
That'd be cool.
By the way, before we get into this judging, listen, I asked you a couple weeks ago about does the DJ, what? I don't understand why DJs are this, and I'm like, and I still don't fully notice. But now Justin put out on social media, and I browse that stuff sometimes. I saw the Jump Smokers. You were telling us you were going to headline this thing, so I looked for it.
Yeah.
And the crowd at this Jump Smokers thing was like if Ohtani were showing up and signing autographs in Los Angeles. At one point, you turn around, and he's working the crowd with this whole thing, and I'm looking at Justin, and it's like, what kind of party is it? Like it was like you were Bieber in his heyday out there.
Some say that the Jump Smokers are the Ohtani of EDM dance music.
Some would say
that.
So I've heard that.
No, it was in Elgin over the weekend. We headlined the Nightmare on Chicago Street. It was the biggest Halloween festival in the Midwest, and it was awesome.
It looked good.
We were the soundtrack for it, and it was a lot of fun.
I will tell you right now, this made me say to myself, If he will play a 1 o'clock in the afternoon show in Schaumburg, I will take the family and be there.
Okay, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, just around nap time. So maybe some of them are sleeping in the car, but that's what I need is somewhere in the burbs. But it did look like fun.
It was awesome, and I got to say really fast. I hadn't performed with the group in about 8 years. We're kind of getting back out there, and this was a huge look for us and everything. Our set was 2 hours. Okay, I'm very active. You saw pictures. A video recap will come soon. I'm jumping up and down.
No, I saw a video.
Over. Okay. And the next day, I'm like, I'm not even sore. This is great. I went for a 5-mile bike ride. The next day, yesterday morning, I woke up. 100%. My calves were burning. I couldn't even walk. I was like, oh my! I mean, like it's been 8 years, and it felt like 8 years in my body.
It was like
crazy.
You played 18 innings.
It was like I played last night. Absolutely. It was fun though, man. Thanks for bringing it up. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, congrats, man. It looked great.
It was cool.
Ron says, yeah, jump smokers were peak B96. Last thing, where's the name come from?
Long story short, we started as the Smoke Jumpers because of a TV show called Entourage, and we loved that show, right? So Smoke Jumpers was Vinny Chase's big movie.
Okay,
we had a song that was an overnight success. It hit the radio and everything, and then because of success, we had to get a manager and a lawyer. The first thing the lawyer said was, "Did you copyright your name?" We're like, "No, we don't know." Well, somebody owns the copyright, so the song was already on the radio, so we reversed the words. So Jump Smokers is the opposite of Smoke Jumpers because we were dumb kids that did not copyright the name.
Okay, like it. Anyways, they're back. The Jump Smokers are back.
We're back.
All right, so we're doing most likely, least likely. And I see Ron has said that he believes maybe Schwarber. Are you saying Schwarber's the most likely? You're guessing $200 million, 6 years. Listen, if I can get Schwarber for $200 million, 6 years, gimme. Now the Cubs have never gone to the 200 level. I would love Schwarber to be that guy because they disgraced him by sending him away for nothing. The least they could do is make him the biggest contract, even though this shouldn't be the time in his career that he's getting his biggest contract. It should have been a few years ago.
But he's a DH, and that could,
yes,
hitters can age well. You know, he's not going to hopefully get injured. He's not running or anything. Like, he's not going to be stealing bases. What a great story it would be, though, if you bring Kyle Schwarber, but the big homecoming, talk about the fan base just like being, if they did that, listen, they have a lot of moves to make, but just that alone, I think would have so much goodwill towards the front office, towards Tom Ricketts. I mean, that would be the ultimate, like, fan-approved move.
Yeah, remove just, the Cubs from this, right? Think of the player. The player got non-tendered out of a $10 million contract.
Yeah.
Had to go to Washington, then got traded to Boston. Then signed a 4-year, $90 million deal. Like, I mean, honestly, like, young slugger makes good, right? And now he's on pace to probably double that. I mean, it just speaks to not only the quality of hard work that he's put in, because we all know Kyle Schwarber, when he came up, does not have the same physique that he does have now, right? Yeah. He's completely remade his body, dedicated himself to the game, and the results have come through. Yeah, obviously.
I've remade my body in
took a page out of your
reverse
book.
Order.
In the rally cake way.
The rally cake diet. But yeah, I mean, and that's what's funny is that when we came up with this list, and if anyone in the chat feels like we should add someone to the list, please do. I mean, I think what we try to do is we're talking about candidates the Chicago Cubs could sign right now that we know are most likely going to be on the market. We're not talking about trades.
No, and let's just do hitters first.
Hitters first.
And
we'll
just
do pitchers
hitters
then, but just of the hitters that are on the market as free agent, let's just throw out, you can put another name in there if you want. Let's do these 6. Schwarber, Alonso, Bregman, Tucker, Bellinger, Euguenio Suarez.
Okay.
I mean, it's 6 big names in baseball. It's not like you're talking about jokers. They're all going to get paid. Do you really believe that Schwarber is the most likely?
On that list,
I want him the most out of that list.
I'm with you. My heart wants him the most. But also, if you're letting Tucker walk, he actually provides arguably the best fit as well. I mean, just put him in there at DH and let him rock for the next 5 years. That's great. Say I could play right field, and and I am of the belief that Tucker's not re-signing here. So I don't think it's unlikely that we can grab Schwarber. I think that, I know, Luke, you said in the past, like, well, he loves Philadelphia, and he had that, and I'm sure he does. But there is got to be something, he may not even said it, but we drafted him, we developed him, he won a World Series here,
yes,
he's beloved here, and I think he even knows he would come back as a king here.
Yes, he would.
So, and then give him the most expensive contract in Cubs history, all those things feel good. So I would say Schwarber and or Bregman are my top 2 of, like, most likely to happen.
Okay, so what maybe Joey, you know this better. You came up with the idea. Let's say, what are the categories that these guys are really being judged at, right? Mm-hmm. One is how much is the biggest one. How much is it going to cost? How much is it costing Tom Ricketts?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just factual. Yep. That's going to be near the top of the list. 2 has to be, does this player want to be a Cub? Mm-hmm. Right? That's got to be factored in.
Yeah.
3 has to be, do the Cubs really want this player at whatever that cost is? What's another one? 4, like, how do they fit into what the Cubs have?
Right. Is the juice worth the squeeze, right? If you bring a guy in, is it really worth moving other players around, or maybe, jettisoning a player off your team because you want to fit this person in? Right.
Is there a 5th category that really factors into who's the most likely guy to sign with the Cubs?
The market?
I was going to say the market, other teams.
Yeah, because what if someone like
if everybody wants Schwarber,
right? What if Bellinger falls due at like a unbelievable value deal?
That's right.
You pounce on that, right? Yeah. So I think market probably too.
And the other one, it's just as a Cubs fan, and I'm sure they're looking at this. I would hope that they're looking at this as a guy that can hit high velocity, right? Yeah. A guy that can hit a 4-seam fastball at the letters, because that's the one thing that has been targeted with the Chicago Cubs throughout the wild card round and the NLDS. And I don't know if that's necessarily going away. Maybe Pete Armstrong can improve upon that, or they can start laying off that pitch a little bit more.
Right.
But teams were attacking the Cubs in that area. So there are definitely a couple of guys that, according to Baseball Savant, can catch up to the heater. I think maybe that would be a consideration too as well.
And then if you're looking for like a wild card category for this decision, maybe it's, I don't know. You got... There's got to be something else that. How about like just the bargaining of coming up and trying to sign a deal? How will that deal be impacted by maybe a work stoppage coming up? Like which players are willing to be creative before a work stoppage?
That is the wild card for sure. I think for every free agent and every team, that is the wild card, because it looks like there probably will be a strike. And so how does that play in the contracts?
Godfather says, I give you guys credit doing this segment with a straight face. Godfather, it's least likely or most likely. I think if we started with, if you want to start least likely of this group.
That's the thing is, again, this is not saying this is going to happen. We're asking ourselves the question of most likely to happen, least likely to happen. It's a conversation that can be had.
I think Alonso and Gino Suarez are the 2 least likely.
I'm with you.
I think Bellinger is the least likely.
Really?
I do, because you're telling me a guy that we brought back on a 1-year deal and then brought him back again on the other 1-year deal, and then when we traded for Kyle Tucker, we traded him away that we value him so deeply that we had to move that money around, and now we want to bring that element back into the team and probably pay him more money on more years.
That's a good point, but he's the one guy on that list that I could see maybe other teams not valuing as much, and him falling to us at a really good deal.
Sure. Or good-ish.
And from what I understand, he loved it here. And I mean, I think the fans loved it here too. So.
We're like the old girlfriend that when things go bad, we just go back. Cody Bellinger just goes back to the Cubs for a little while and hangs out with us until something better comes along.
Bregman and Suarez are 2 that are interesting because of what do you believe about Matt Shaw? Right. I think there's a lot of people in the chat say, I've seen some say, absolutely would I never move on. And I believe it was Tony Andracki just wrote about it at Marquee about how, what do you make of his season? Like, they're pretty high on him. Like, the defense was way better than they expected it to be. And then the second half, you saw him exposed in the postseason, but it's a guy that also hit double-digit home runs once he came back. So
second half Shaw is a really, really good piece.
And he's obviously very, very inexpensive. Yes. So would you rather have that? Or is Bregman more likely than Suarez just because the Cubs like to collect former Astros?
We're trying to get them all.
It's a bad contract.
They're like infinity stones.
Yeah. Former Astros, they've done Tucker, right?
Neris, Ryan Presley.
Presley.
Geez.
We've had a few over the years. So
Martin
I said Bregman earlier in my I kind of recant that because I recall that I should say, because with Scott Boras, they're going to the highest bidder, period. And I don't think that's the Cubs. So I
don't either. Not when you have.
I take that back about Bregman. He's not the most likely or tied with Schwarber. I put him lower on the list because of Boras and because Matt Shaw is a really, really good piece, and this would prevent Shaw from playing next year.
Yeah, I had so if I had Cody Bellinger as my 6, number 5 I did have as my Bregman. I felt more like the Cubs were a pawn to get the money that he wanted. All those stats were running around about how he was looking for a ballpark that was more attuned to his offensive skill set. The Wrigley Field obviously didn't play into that category, so I had him at number 5.
And you knew you had Tucker at the time, a former teammate.
Yeah. And number 4 I have at Pete Alonso. Look, I'm sure you've done a lot of shows and segments on would Pete Alonso be a fit for the Chicago Cubs. Kind of feels more like a fallback plan, or like if things fell apart with him and the Mets and all of a sudden he enters on the open market, maybe the Cubs could hop in there. But I just don't find that to be very likely, even though as a DH and as a right-hander, power hitter hitting in Wrigley Field, it would create a different dynamic in the Cubs lineup that I think would be helpful. I just don't find it super likely.
He only plays first base, and I think we all agree that Michael Busch is a star in the making, right? So you don't
DH, yeah.
Right, but my point is like someone like Schwarber, I'm all in to have bigger DH. Pete Alonso for me is like a first baseman. I don't want to block a potential other I'd rather have Moises DH and spend the money on pitching,
right?
If it was me than Pete Alonso.
No, I'm with you. The flexibility is why I just didn't find it crazy likely. Number 3 on my list, I had Kyle Tucker.
Okay.
I think the Chicago Cubs should resign him. I would like to see him back in right field. But again, of all those people on the list, who probably has the highest price tag? Kyle Tucker. Number 2, I have Euguenio Suarez, just because I think short-term deal, I could see myself bringing him in. You keep Matt Shaw not necessarily in the lineup every single day. He can play DH. He could play third base. He could do a little bit for you, provide that power. And then, number 1, most likely, I don't even know if this is likely, but most likely of the category is Kyle Schwarber.
Yes, I like it.
The money makes sense.
I like it.
The history makes sense. The need makes sense. There's a lot of sense in it, including the $200 million if you count out all the sense in that. But he's not a $300 million player. He's right in the range of the tippy top of where the Chicago Cubs have gone in the past. Right. He's kind of the most likely, if any of them were to come over, he's the most likely.
That's it. I'm like, some people in the chat are misunderstanding what we're saying. I'm not saying any of these 6 guys are definitely coming to the Cubs. Right. I think it's unlikely, actually, that any of these 6 players will be on the Cubs next year. I really do.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think they will go heavy on pitching instead, and they feel like they've got cheap options at third. They've got DH they can go cheap if they want to. I think that's the most likely would be to say a 7th name, none of these players.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be it. But a guy like Schwarber, I could see putting at the top of the list or the bottom of the list. Really? I really do. I don't know what to say about these 6. Could I make a case for some? Yeah. It makes sense that Schwarber should, but we don't think like the Cubs think.
Right.
Like, I know that Jed Hoyer loves Kyle Schwarber.
Right.
We all do.
Yep.
But is he going to fit into the budget that he is given by his owner that he has to fit it into? You can argue till the moon changes into 5 other moons. It doesn't matter. Like, I know it's not enough money, but I don't know if he's going to fit into what he has to do unless he does something crazy.
Even to your point, Chef Kevin Penner says the Cubs aren't spending big money on a DH. When they have spent near $200 million, they've spent on a shortstop, the most important position in baseball.
Yeah. And then Jason Hayward as well was a right fielder, but it was, the full package of what we thought we were getting, So, again, I'm with you. But the one thing I disagree with, Luke, is I do think they will get one of those guys on that list.
One of the 6 will be a Cub.
Because either you're resigning your Kyle Tucker, or you're not, but you're filling that hole with somebody else. And it could be Bellinger. It could be someone like lower on the list. But I do think they are going to sign a hitter. I do.
They could still do something via a trade to find that player.
That's true.
They could put Alcantara in right and move Seiya to DH. They could have Mo Baller. They could have just say Casey. He would have been great in the postseason. He just wasn't available. What if Casey becomes your right fielder and Seiya goes to DH? I think those are cheaper options that the Cubs may be thinking about, especially before work stoppage. Tucker, I could put Tucker at the top or bottom just like Schwarber.
Yeah, 100%. Because just the number is so big, it's just hard for Cubs fans to wrap their heads around them actually doing it when they've never, ever done it before. To Kevin's point, Kevin's comment, you're 100% correct. But if we did tiers of DHs, Ohtani is the DH. Schwarber is not that far behind. Like, he's the tippy top of that next tier, and then after that, there aren't a lot of other DHs. So I get what you're saying. Exceptions can be made, especially for a player that you know really well. And again, we don't know, right? Maybe he's never leaving Philadelphia. Like, maybe it's never even going to be an option of him whiffing the market. But
I do want to be on record saying I do not think Kyle Tucker is signing. Like, I don't. For me, he's like least on the list and not happening.
We got to get to a quick break here on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Pitchers most likely via free agency next. Oh, Ray Chevrolet, we've got deals sweeter than candy this Halloween at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Come in today to shop with a no tricks, just treat sales event and drive home with 0% financing, $0 down with no payments until 26, and 0 hidden fees on select new Chevy models. Or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. And with one of the area's largest Chevy inventories, you're going to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they keep their prices competitive, so you're going to get a great deal. Plus, with Ray's Price Promise, you shop confidently. The price you say is the price you pay. Don't miss out on their no tricks, just treat sales event going on this month for 0% financing, $0 down, no payments until 26, 0 hidden fees on select new Chevy models. That's right, Ray Chevrolet, serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
And when we're talking about treats, sports fans, there's nothing better than that Game Time app because it gives the advantage back to you, the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you can trust that you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. And the fees are always included, so when you check out, the price is what you see is the price of what you pay. You got seats from all over the venue that you can check out with their beautiful zone deals and seat views that give you a panoramic view. They have the lowest price guarantee and event cancellation protection. The lowest price guarantee also will credit you 110% the difference. They also have Game Time ticket coverage, so it's covered with the most flexible customer service in the industry. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, NBA tickets, NHL, NFL, whatever it is, and download the Game Time app. And if you use the code CHGO, you'll receive $20 off your first purchase. That's right, $20 off with the code CHGO. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it, Sean?
Game time! Talking about the players most likely to least likely or least likely to most likely to sign as free agents with the Cubs this offseason. We just talked about 6 hitters. Some believe none of those players will end up here, but which one's the most likely? I don't know if we came up with a definite answer. I think you could mix and match depending on, I could change my mind 4 times on that before I leave here today.
It sounds like we all kind of think that the most likely, well, at least me and you, that Schwarber is the most likely of the unlikelies, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, again, like this exercise is like, if I give you 5 $1 bills and I tell you that you have to go to the window at Vegas and you have to spend that dollar bill on one of these players that's most likely, not saying that it's going to happen,
that's right,
but you have to put your dollar in on one of these players. Which one would you put your dollar in?
Well,
that gives the Cubs the best shot.
The dollar doesn't do it because I would just put it on Schwarber because that's what I want my heart to say.
Right.
If you told me, Luke, you need to spend $1,000. Take $1,000
of your own money,
my own money out of the bank account,
I see.
And tell me which one is the most likely to happen.
Good
now
reframe.
My mind is going, I don't know. Can I hold the money?
Better get this right.
Yeah, right. Or I won't be able to make one trip to the grocery store with that $1,000.
Willie Castro.
All right, so pitchers.
Okay.
Here are the 5 pitchers we have on the list. Really 4. Dylan Cease. Framber Valdez.
Very good.
Ranger Suarez.
All right.
Zac Gallen.
Bounce back.
And then Joey wanted to throw in Will Klein.
Need him. Want him. Have to sign him. What does it take? Suitcase full of cash.
Whatever
I'm on a plane with handcuffed to that suitcase. Will Klein. It just feels like a Cubs move, right? Like he shines out. He shows out in the playoffs. Amazing last night. Doubled his major league pitch count.
He's a free agent?
I don't even know.
Doesn't matter. You know what?
Joey just wanted to say he wanted him on the Cubs.
Justin, if there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Okay, I got you.
Is Kopech a free agent?
I will steal him. He is a free agent.
Let's put Kopech on the list. Let's add Kopech to the list.
So I'll start.
He would fit in their bullpen. Guy throws hard.
I really call it a gut situation, call it a feeling. I really feel like Dylan Cease is going to be a Cub. I think that I've heard through many channels that he loves Chicago. They actually wanted to be a Cub throughout the season. We drafted him, we developed him, obviously traded him, but he was in Chicago for a very long time. And I think that if Jed learned anything from this past season, and I hope he did, it's that you can't wait until the deadline to get a big-time starter. It costs way too much money. Now, this isn't going to be cheap, but it costs only money. And I just feel like the fit is there. We saw him be dominant in the playoffs against us. And I just think he's somebody if you pair with Cade Horton, and then you have obviously a Matthew Boyd, and then Justin Steele, your rotation is becoming fierce. So I just think that for me, on that list, the most likely is Dylan Cease.
By the way, going back to I like that. First of all, I think Cease might be the most likely on that list. The throwing Kopech in there, that's the type of guy that Jed lives for.
100%.
A guy that maybe hasn't reached all his expectations. Right. That he's not probably going to be good enough to make the Dodgers because they'll sign the 3 best free agents out there. Chef Kevin's going back to saying they're not spending on Cease, but earlier saying if they sign Schwarber, what would they do with Ballesteros? Well, they would package him in somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what I believe.
We figure it out.
Or a baller would be traded.
We have currency, we have money, and we have prospect capital. So, yeah, something will happen.
He'd become a poker chip, and he'd be moved somewhere.
Yes.
Or figure out how to try and play a passable position, right? And that was something that, to be honest, Schwarber did for several years, and then obviously he hasn't done it for about 2 or 3 years. But, yeah, it's Moises Ballesteros, either figure out how to play catcher or a corner outfield position, or maybe it would become a trade chip of some kind.
Does Dylan Cease get the most of those pitchers that we talked about? Will he get the biggest AAV and total package, or will it be Valdez?
Well, I think it's
Zac Gallen had the down season. I think it's those two.
Those two for sure. And now we talked about it, I think, last week. I think there might be some character flaws on Valdez from what happened earlier in the season. So I would say Dylan Cease probably makes the most of the two. But he's the one I want the most as well because, again, I'm not sure about Valdez. That whole crossing up your own catcher thing really sat wrong with me, and it makes me think that he might not be a good team guy.
When we talk about just the money on the open market, and I agree with you, it still kind of like bothers me.
Yeah.
But when we talk about open market, I'm going to say Framber Valdez makes more money on the open market. It's not that far of a differentiator, but I think he's just been more consistent. I think just the fact that he's like ipso facto, the team that he's on has had more opportunities in high leverage playoff situations. The numbers have been a little bit better across the board, just as a total, as a whole. I think the highs of Dylan Cease might be a touch higher than Framber Valdez, but Framber Valdez is a really, really good pitcher.
He is. And lefty.
And yeah, 3.66 ERA. That's what I was going to say. I think he's less likely than Cease because he's a lefty.
Yeah.
You really want another lefty?
Right.
Sooner or later, you got to get some of these right-handed hitters out for the Brewers, and you would have. I would prefer Cease, no question about it.
Same.
I don't know if he gets more money than Valdez or not. Valdez is 31.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, and this is what's interesting about it is we're just talking about people that are probably going to hit the open market. We haven't discussed people that have mutual options or club options that they can decline, like Jack Flaherty. So more will be added. More will be added to this list soon, and we're not talking about trade candidates right now. So of those 4, I mean, I think least likely is definitely the Ranger Suarez, Zac Gallens of the world. I don't know.
I'd say Will Klein is the least likely.
Do you? Oh, how dare you?
Because he might not be a free agent. We don't even know.
He's going to get locked up with deferred money for 25 years. I know Zac Gallen was maybe a guy that the Chicago Cubs talked about, but that's kind of a middle of the road move. And we mentioned guys like, Shane Bieber and other guys that might, hit the open market. I'd probably be more interested in a guy like Shane Bieber than banking on a bounce back season from Zac Gallen. So between the two of Dylan Cease and Framber Valdez, my heart and my head both say most likely right now would be Dylan Cease if they had a shot to get him.
I don't like the idea of this, but Ron's talking about Imanaga being gone real quickly. If you were to take Shota's money off the table and say, okay, we're not going to do it. We don't like what we saw late, and even though we know we have to have tons of pitching, we need money to go get Cease. Would you be willing to let all of that money that you thought was going to Imanaga the next year, 2 years, 3 years, go to the Dylan Cease fund? You're still going to be short on pitching.
I would, yes. I would. I think Dylan Cease is a better pitcher. And I think I think Dylan Cease is a more dominant pitcher than Shota Imanaga.
Different type of pitcher, too.
Shota, we couldn't trust him for a game 5, I mean, and listen, I do want to say, too, Shota was great. The injury, I think, really then, he just took a turn for the worse after the injury. So maybe he bounces back and becomes the Shota we knew from, last season in the first half of last. But if you're giving me the hypothetical of getting rid of Shota to get Dylan Cease, my answer is yes.
And what's so important about that, just really quick, is that, like we did last year, when you trade Cody Bellinger away, you have to then do another move after that. So I'd be willing to trade out Shota Imanaga for Dylan Cease, but if we trade out Shota Imanaga and then do nothing, I'm going to be upset.
I'm willing to let Shota go if I can get Cease and Schwarber. Amen to that.
Right.
Amen.
Done.
Correct.
Amen. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast, driven by our friends at Toyota. Thanks to Sean Anderson for a beautifully run show there behind the dials, spinning the 1s and 2s today. Justin coming in for Tuesdays with Roman.
Love it.
We're back tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We will go back to report card time, and we will talk about the 7 times the Blue Jays walked Shohei Ohtani.
What was your favorite?
In Game 4 of the World Series. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Don't forget, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.